Blade. It's the daywalker.
Come on, daywalker! Freeze! Are you out of your damn mind?
The movie opens in a hospital where a pregnant black woman lies in pain and her body weak from a vampire bite. Doctors rush her into the operating room, doing everything they can to save her life. But despite their efforts, only her baby survives. 30 years later, a vampire woman lures a stranger with her charm. She takes him to an underground club. The club pulses with wild energy, people dancing under strobe lights, lost in music and chaos. But the atmosphere turns dark. Blood begins to drip from the ceiling. The drops fall gently at first, then pour in a shower. The stranger, confused and terrified, realizes too late that this isn't an ordinary party. They reveal their true nature, that every one of them is a vampire. They surround the stranger, attacking him like hungry beasts.
Jesus, that's him.
It's Blade. It's the daywalker.
Come on, daywalker! That's him! We're gonna jack you up!
Quit.
Put him out. Yes, sir.
Blade vanishes into the night, leaving chaos behind. The charred body is taken to a hospital for autopsy. Dr. Karen, a hematologist, examines the strange blood under a microscope and is stunned by what she sees. Curious and alarmed, she visits the morgue with her colleague to inspect the body further. But as they begin, the corpse comes back to life.
Freeze! Are you out of your damn mind?
Blade takes Karen to his hidden hideout, where his trusted ally, Whistler, is waiting. He shows Karen's body to Whistler and explains that she has been bitten. Whistler questions Blade's decision to bring her there, warning that it's dangerous. But Blade insists that he had no other choice. Whistler agrees reluctantly, but warns that if Karen begins turning into a vampire, he will be the one to end her life. Whistler injects a special serum into her, an experimental mix of garlic extract and other compounds. It's not a cure, but it might slow the infection. Meanwhile, a secret meeting of high-class vampires takes place. All of them are purebloods, born into vampirism. Their leader, Gitano, expresses concern over Blade.
These nightclubs of yours are dangerous. Draw needless attention to our kind. We should be ruling the humans, not running around making back alley treaties. These people are our food.
You're not even a pure blood. The world belongs to us, not the humans.
Do we have any other business to discuss?
You may wake up one day and find yourself extinct.
Back in the hideout, Karen wakes up confused and scared. She doesn't know where she is. As she wanders outside, she overhears Whistler talking about her background. He's checked her records and knows she's a hematologist. He believes she could be useful. At that moment, Whistler injects a painful serum into Blade. The process hurts deeply, but it's necessary. It keeps Blade's thirst under control. Karen tries to escape, but they stop her. She demands answers. Whistler and Blade finally reveal everything, that they are vampire hunters.
So am I a prisoner here?
We just had to take certain precautions before we let you go. They're hard to kill. They tend to regenerate.
So what do you use then? Stakes? Crosses?
Of course, there's always sunlight, ultraviolet rays.
If you want to live to see another day, you'll be out of town by nightfall.
There's a war going on out there.
I can go to the police.
They own the police.
You guys just patch me up and send me on my way.
Buy yourself a gun. Find you're thirsty, take that gun and use it on yourself.
Blade drops Karen off outside her apartment. His voice is firm but concerned. He tells her to keep her eyes open because vampires are everywhere, even in places that seem safe. As Karen waits for the elevator, paranoia creeps in. She starts to look at everyone with suspicion. On her way to her apartment, fear rises. She rushes inside and quickly locks the door. The silence is heavy. She picks up the phone and dials someone, but no one answers. She begins packing her things in panic, but then a noise comes. Someone is in the apartment. She freezes. A man steps forward, but he calmly says he's there for a routine check. His name is Officer Krieger. He claims the department received reports about her being kidnapped.
Master, turn it.
You use me as bait?
That's a glyph. It means that Officer Krieger here is somebody's property. Tell us what your master's been up to.
Oh, great. Now you're robbing him.
It's fake.
I don't know what you're talking about. Fuck me, no, you suck this.
Wait a minute. I'm coming with you.
You're useless.
Blade and Karen wait near Krieger's car, hoping he'll return. Karen worries he might never come back, but Blade is calm. He says Krieger has to complete his assignment in any case. And sure enough, Krieger returns, gets in his police car, and speeds off. Blade follows him through the city until Krieger reaches an isolated location. It looks like a vampire safe house. They go inside. When the doorman tries to stop them, Blade knocks him out cold. As they move deeper, Krieger sees Blade and runs, but Blade chases him through the halls and corners him in the kitchen. After roughing him up, Blade forces him to reveal the way to the lower level. Krieger finally talks and says that there is a hidden basement through the fridge door. Blade heads down, sends a warning through Krieger to tell Frost that Blade is coming for him soon. Blade and Karen take the lift underground. The place is filled with archives and the stench of secrets. Blade explains this is where they run their operations. Politics, finances, everything that is hidden from the human world. There, they find an old, bloated vampire. Blade asks about Frost. The creature refuses at first, but Karen tortures him with UV light.
Fragment! A piece of the prophecy!
What prophecy? Then you won't mind me borrowing this for a while, will you?
But you're wasting your time. There's nothing of importance to anyone.
These are the pages from the Book of Erebus, Vampire Bible.
Hola, amigo.
Silver, I owe you one. Got his pig sticker.
Oh, what's so funny, Bright Eyes?
Blade injects himself with a serum. He survives, but he knows the war is far from over. Karen asks Blade if he's a vampire too, but Blade tells her that he's something else, something different. Whistler starts to explain the truth behind Blade's condition. He says that he found Blade a long time ago, when he was just a teenager, roaming the streets alone. He had no family. Whistler says he saw Blade one night, feeding on a homeless man. He was drinking his blood. He looked like just another vampire, dangerous and lost. Whistler pulled out his weapon, ready to kill him like any other monster. But then something strange happened. Whistler realized Blade wasn't fully turned. He wasn't burning in the sunlight or reacting to garlic or silver. He wasn't like the others. There was something else going on. So, Whistler spared his life. He took him in. He studied him and raised him like a son, trained him like a soldier, taught him how to fight back against the creatures that made him what he is. Whistler explains that Blade's mother was pregnant when she was bitten by a vampire. She died shortly after, but Blade survived, and that made him different. His body went through genetic changes. He was born with vampire strength, speed, senses, and agility. He can walk in the daylight, can touch silver, and eat garlic. He has all their powers, but none of their flaws. Blade is what they call the daywalker. He still has a vampire's thirst for blood. The hunger never stops. Whistler developed a serum that suppresses the bloodlust, but Blade has to inject it regularly. Meanwhile, Quinn returns to Frost. His hand has been chopped off again. Frost says that he needs Blade alive. He doesn't explain why, but it's clear there's a plan. After that, Frost has Gitano kidnapped. He brings him out to an open area, surrounded by his men. Then, with a cold smile, Frost tells him it's time for him to enjoy the sunrise, because unlike Gitano, Frost was never a pureblood. He did enjoy many sunrises back in his childhood, long before becoming what he is now. And now, it's Gitano's turn. As the light hits his skin, his body starts to burn. He screams in agony, and then he collapses. Gitano burns alive right there in the sunlight.
Let's get down to business, shall we?
I need 12 volunteers.
This is EDTA. Now look what happens when I introduce it onto a sample of vampire blood. But you could use it to explode some vampire heads.
After that, she collects Blade's sample, thinking maybe she can use it later to find a cure. Quietly, she examines the bite on her shoulder. The wound is worsening, unsure how much longer she has before the change begins. Then, Frost appears again, this time standing face to face with Blade. With him, he brings a young girl, fragile and innocent, using her as leverage.
How you doing, Chief? Wouldn't want our little friend here to wind up on the back of a milk carton now, would we? I know all about you. Your serum, Whistler, everything. All our strengths, none of our weaknesses. You can't keep denying what you are, man. You think the humans will ever accept a half-breed like you? What difference does it make how their world ends? We're just a function of natural selection, the new race. I'm offering you a truce. I want you with us.
You're nothing to me but another dead vampire.
Careful! You're gonna wish they never cut you from your mother's womb.
Get out of here!
Do your thing.
When Blade returns, he sees the aftermath of the attack. He finds Whistler badly injured, barely able to speak. Whistler tells Blade that he doesn't have much time left. Before he fully turns into a vampire, he wants Blade to end it. Blade hesitates, as he doesn't want to lose him, but Whistler begs him, promising that he'll do it himself. Blade learns the truth that Frost needs Blade's blood to complete his plan. Since Blade is a daywalker, he is the chosen one, the key to activating the ancient prophecy. But Blade swears that he'll stop him no matter what it takes. Then he heads out to the location on his motorcycle.
I just work for them!
Eric?
But you died.
I came back, Eric.
You're finally being reunited with your mother and you act like this? You spent your whole life looking for the vampire who bit your mother. Here I am.
Maybe when we get out of this, I'll take that miracle cure of yours.
There's one catch. You'll be completely human.
Frost's men drive them to the Temple of Eternal Night. At the temple, Frost and his men await. He's also gathered the 12 elders needed for the ritual. Quinn forces Blade to kneel before him, and then Frost takes Blade's sword. Frost throws Blade's serum away, and Karen is thrown in a pit, where a monstrous zombie-like creature attacks her. The creature turns out to be the same doctor who once worked with Karen. He lunges at her, but after a fierce struggle, Karen manages to escape. Blade's mother removes his clothes and seals him inside a ritual box. His blood is drawn for the ceremony. She tells him she has accepted her fate, that she's now a vampire. She says she died once, but Frost brought her back. Now she belongs to the vampire bloodline, and soon Blade will too. Blade's blood begins to flow into the ancient machine. The 12 noble vampires stand in place as the ritual begins. Meanwhile, Karen escapes and reaches Blade. He's weak from blood loss. She tells him to drink her blood. He refuses, but finally gives in to survive.
How was it?
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
Blade and Karen then leave. He says he doesn't want the cure because he needs a better serum and that a war is still coming.
There's still a war going on, and I have a job to do. You want to help make me a better serum?
А куда мы идем?
Это сюрприз.
Что ты делаешь?
Застане вовремя, товарищ.
Sometime later in Prague, a weak and sick-looking vampire named Nomak volunteers for a secret research program. When the scientists gather around him to draw his blood, one of them tells him there's good news for them and bad news for him.
Your blood has a very rare phenotype, one we haven't encountered before. Sit down, please.
Meanwhile, Blade is searching for his old friend Whistler. He has turned into a vampire, so Blade is hunting through vampire hideouts to find him. Blade and Batman really do know how to make people talk. Blade enters a room where Whistler lies in a small water tank connected to tubes. Blade cuts the tubes and carries him back to his hidden base. There, his new technician, Scud, welcomes him. Seeing Whistler's state, Scud is shocked. He asks why Blade hasn't killed him yet. He senses that Whistler is in pain, fading fast. Blade explains that Whistler has been kept in stasis and might survive if given a powerful retroviral detox, like the kind used for heroin addicts. Later, Blade whispers in Whistler's ear, hoping some part of his humanity remains.
How'd you find me?
Started out in Moscow, then Romania.
Tortured me almost to death, and then let me heal in a vat of blood. Where's my arc flutter?
Whistler, nice to meet you, man. Josh, you can call me Scud, though.
What you doing here?
The Pimp Mobile? Just a little aftermarket modification.
You burn the damn thing out before your next oil change. Where'd you dig up this shitbird anyway?
Hey, we jeopardized our whole operation to save your puckered old ass.
Our operation?
Yeah. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. I don't trust you.
They're offering you a truce. They want to meet with you.
You have been our most feared enemy. But now there's something else loose on the street.
They all board a helicopter and head toward their destination. During the flight, Nyssa begins to smile. Scud notices and asks why. She responds with dry amusement, saying she's surprised at how easily they agreed to come along. Scud, however, remains suspicious. He reveals that Blade's jacket is lined with explosives, enough Semtex to level an entire city block. Nyssa falls silent, slightly disappointed by the distrust. Soon, they arrive at a high-tech, heavily secured facility. As they approach, Whistler asks Blade if he's sure about this. Blade simply nods. Nyssa informs him that all the Vampire Nation's power resides within these walls. Inside, she calls for someone. A figure appears who is her father, the ancient vampire overlord Damaskinos. He greets Blade with surprising politeness, saying that one should take pride in their enemies and even celebrate their success.
Unfortunately, viruses evolve too. We've encountered a new one. Jared Nomak.
Born a vampire, by an anomaly like you. You've got to understand, these things are like crack addicts. They need to feed daily.
You want me to hunt them? For you?
Your precious humans, not one of them will be left.
So, B-Man, what do you think?
Sounds like a plan.
Looking to get hooked up?
Maybe.
Whatever you need.
What if I need you?
Blade injects himself with his serum to fight off his own thirst. Nyssa arrives and says the blood pack is ready. Blade steps out and meets the team. Ossett introduces them: Lighthammer, Verlaine, Snowman, Chupa, and Reinhardt. Reinhardt mocks Blade, asking if he can blush. Blade responds coldly that he knows they've been training to kill him for 2 years, and yet he's still standing. So, if they want a chance, they can take it now. Reinhardt smirks and walks forward as if to challenge Blade. But Blade moves first. He stabs Reinhardt in the head and attaches a small device. It's a silver nitrate bomb. If anyone tries to tamper with it, it will explode, taking Reinhardt's head with it. Only Blade has the detonator. From now on, they will operate as one unit, and they will follow Blade's orders. Blade tells the team that if they want to catch the hunter, they must go where preys gather. Nyssa says the biggest crowd will be at a place called the House of Pain. The group heads there. Blade asks where the entrance is, but sees no signs of vampire clans. Nyssa explains they've changed their symbols and security because of him. She hands him a camera lens that reveals a hidden mark. Whistler arms the team with weapons, guns loaded with silver bullets and modified UV light. He goes up to the roof for cover. Nyssa quietly warns Blade that their world is different, and he might see things that seem strange, so he should ignore them.
You gotta be kidding me.
Hey, tell me something. How's the weather up there, sweetheart?
Walking on sunshine, toke boy.
Daywalker. Daywalker.
Daylight.
We're under attack. There's 3 of them, probably more.
Say cheese!
Listen to me, if you're under attack, use your UV lights. Use your UV lights. They can't take the light.
Daylight's coming. You're on your own, Blade.
You and I.
the team discovers Priest turning into a Reaper. Blade instantly kills him, but the infection has already started that half his head and one eye were still functioning. When Whistler arrives, the group asks about its absence. He says he was in a fight with Reaper and finally caught him. They realize this Reaper is extremely weak, and this one must have been heading back home when he was caught. Now that he's dying, they decide to examine him as fast as possible. Meanwhile, in a secret vampire facility, Damaskinos is informed about the casualties. He's told only one agent died. Lawyer warns that the game they're playing is dangerous, but Damaskinos believes events are unfolding exactly as planned. Nyssa and Blade begin dissecting the captured Reaper. She asks why it's dying. Blade explains that the Reaper virus accelerates their metabolism as they need fresh blood every few hours, or they start feeding on themselves. But Nomak is different. He's the origin, the carrier. Nyssa performs an autopsy. She finds the virus is deeply embedded and the mutation is stronger than expected. She also learns that the Reapers have no healing factor. They're pure weapons of infection. She cuts open its chest and discovers its heart is encased in bone and positioned to the side. She pours blood into the body to test a reaction. It reanimates for a moment, still trying to feed, but the brain is dead. Blade says that they have only 6 hours left until sunrise. If they don't act by then, they'll lose their chance. Blade prepares his serum injection. Nyssa approaches and asks why he hates them so much. Blade replies that it's in his blood.
Blade, we are together in this, remember? I'm a pureblood. I was born a vampire. The only difference between us is that I made peace with what I am a long time ago.
Meanwhile, Scud and Whistler work on building a UV grenade. Whistler asks about how he and Blade meet. Scud tells him that he was backpacking when he met 2 girls and invited them into his tent. They turned out to be vampires and attacked him. Blade saved him just in time, and after that, he is with Blade helping him in his missions. The team gets ready, checking their weapons. One member asks how they'll find Reapers. Blade says they won't need to, as the Reapers will come to them. Nyssa sprays a scent on everyone, saying it's extracted from the Reapers' adrenal glands. This way, they'll be able to smell and track them. Scud has combined several UV grenades into a powerful timed bomb. Blade explains it has a 10-second delay, so they need to be careful. He warns Nyssa to stay alert.
You know, Whistler, there's an old saying. Keep your friends close. Keep your enemies closer.
Trying to attract them, not scare them off.
Yeah, well, some of us can't see in the dark.
Hey, hillbilly.
Get out!
Move! You try to stink me to death, old man?
Go down that tunnel! Go! 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 Go!
Did I happen to mention the bomb lever's stuck?
Whistler, wait, tell Blade about this ring.
Her father asks what happened. She admits she has dishonored her family and feels shame. She tells him Blade saved her. Blade wakes up at the enemy base. He sees all weapons are gone and everything is destroyed. He realizes they lied from the start. Damaskinos made the Reapers strain on purpose. Whistler says Nomak told him everything. Damaskinos enters and admits they were trying to fix vampire weaknesses for years. Creating Nomak was just the first step. Soon they'll make a new breed immune to silver and sunlight. Whistler throws a family ring to Nyssa that Nomak gave him. Nyssa picks it up, shocked to learn Nomak is her brother. Angry, she walks away.
The bomb's a dud. It was never supposed to explode. You see this? I'm one of Damaskinos' familiars. I'd rather be a pet than cattle.
I've been on to you since they turned you. I was just starting to like him.
Every drop of it. Then bone marrow, organs, everything.
They drill into his body to harvest his blood and bone marrow. Outside, Nomak enters the building, killing guards. Nissa confronts her father. He says he trusted her, but she replies that their enemies saved her twice, while Damaskinos used his own children. Blade whispers to Lawyer that Nomak wants revenge. Lawyer replies that Nomak can't find them, but Blade knows he already has. Nomak kills his way through the guards. Reinhardt sees him on camera. Whistler uses the chance to knock Reinhardt out.
Can you blush?
You're locked in.
Are you insane? Father.
I've finished my father's job.
Blade goes to Nissa. She feels the virus spreading and asks to die as a vampire. She wants to see the sunrise. Blade carries her outside, and as the sun rises, Nissa smiles at Blade and turns to ash in his arms. I don't think Marvel is ever going to make another Blade movie because Wesley is simply the best.
There's only been one Blade. There's only ever going to be one Blade.
We then move to the Syrian desert, where a small group of vampires, led by siblings Danica and Aster, along with their towering bodyguard Jarko, arrives to investigate an ancient tomb. They believe this tomb belongs to the first and most powerful vampire, Dracula, known to them as Drake. With cautious steps, they enter the tomb and discover a secret opening that leads them deep into its hidden basement. The place carries the weight of 4,000 years, and the silence feels heavy with dread. Suddenly, strange movements begin under the dusty floor as if something buried is starting to awaken. When the bodyguard steps closer to examine, a decaying hand bursts from beneath and violently crushes his skull. He dies instantly, and another hand emerges, followed by a monstrous vampire figure that rises, terrifying everyone in the chamber. Elsewhere in the city, Blade continues his relentless war against the vampires.
Stonebridge overpass.
He's got a gun!
Staked you with silver. Why aren't you ash?
Not a vampire.
Damn.
Oh, Blade.
He returns to his hideout, where Whistler asks what happened. Blade silently broods, while Whistler reminds him that killing vampires leaves no evidence behind, but killing humans does. He fears Blade may have been identified. Ignoring the warning, Blade praises a new weapon Whistler crafted, and then Whistler hand him a high-tech inhaler system activated by a mouthguard. It's designed by a few trusted friends to make Blade even deadlier. Meanwhile, the FBI, who have been chasing Blade for years, finally get the break they need thanks to Danica's leaked footage. While Danica meets with Drake, who is kept in their office, he warns that he should never have been awakened. Danica defends their choice, saying they need him as his blood and power can save their kind. But Drake, cold and ancient, mocks her desperation.
You shouldn't have woken me.
Your people need you. The humans have a new hunter.
And you'd like me to kill him, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Subject is heading west.
Got him.
Congratulations. You're public enemy #1.
Didn't know this was a popularity contest.
We're gonna have to take on the rest of the world, too. I've been doing this since before you were born, Blade. You're like a son to me. We can't win this war alone.
Elsewhere, in a quiet, abandoned metro station, a woman waits alone for her train. Suddenly, a group of young vampires approaches, mocking her, claiming she will be their dinner tonight. They snatch her child and bag and shove her to the ground. But to their shock, the baby in her arms turns out to be a decoy. Back at the hideout, Blade and Whistler sit quietly until they notice movement outside.
Get out, Blade!
Hold it right there. Don't shoot, don't shoot.
The next day, the FBI speaks with Blade. They reveal they had been tracking Blade for quite some time. Then they ask how many people Blade killed. Blade calmly replies as 1,182, but he insists they were all familiars that are humans working for vampires. Still, no one believes him. Soon, a psychiatrist enters. He begins a psychiatric assessment, asking Blade a series of questions. Blade responds with dry sarcasm and irritation. When asked about his family, Blade's expression turns fierce. His intense stare unsettles the doctor, who quickly labels him psychotic. This diagnosis allows them to transfer Blade to a mental facility.
For his safety and for the public's, I'm recommending that he be transferred immediately.
That man is my prisoner. Don't f*** with my thing.
There's a team from the hospital. This is just a little something to keep you compliant. Kick it up to a couple thousand.
Going on 5 years now.
It's the end game, Blade.
I hate familiar.
The drugs begin to take effect. At the same time, Danica, along with her team, pose as hospital staff and arrive at the facility to extract Blade. Danica mocks them, saying they had to rely on humans this time just to catch Blade. She claims no one is coming to help him. But then, in that moment, Deadpool himself arrives to save Blade.
Evening, ladies. Wake up, Blade! Whoa, where are you going?
Get back, get back!
Come on.
My name is Hannibal King. This little hellion right here is Abigail.
Whistler's daughter. How do you bankroll this operation?
I date a lot of older men. This is Hedges, Summerfield. She's the one who built that new serum inhaler of yours. We call ourselves the Nightstalkers. We were gonna go with the Care Bears, but that was taken.
You're kids. You're not ready to roll with this.
That's just rude. Second, I'm pretty sure we saved your ass back there.
The hell makes you think you know about hunting vampires?
I used to be one. Do I pass the audition?
I don't like you.
You never did.
On the other side, Danica is furious. She yells that they should have killed Hannibal King and his team when they had the chance. The entire group is seething with rage as the mission has completely failed. At that moment, Drake enters from behind. He says maybe it's time he finally joins the game. Meanwhile, Hannibal King tells Blade more about Danica. She has a brother named Aster and a bodyguard named Jarko. Hannibal King was Danica's familiar for 5 years who turned him into a vampire, but instead he turned against them. Now he's hunting vampires. Then Hannibal King drops the biggest news that Dracula, the first vampire, has returned. Blade is skeptical, but the team shows him proof. They explain Dracula is just one of many names, and nowadays, he's called Drake. He was born as an ancient samurai, and he's been a terror ever since. No one knows where he came from, but all agree that he was the first and most powerful. For centuries, he remained hidden, but 6 months ago, they found him in Iraq, and he was very pissed. Now that Drake has entered the modern world, he's shocked by how much has changed. He walks the streets, overwhelmed by flashy products and shallow culture. When he sees his name and image plastered on vampire merchandise as toys, lunchboxes, comics, he's disgusted. Enraged, he enters the store and kills the shopkeepers.
Dracula lunchboxes. Did you see those? Dracula. Makes you want to cry, doesn't it? Was there something special you needed?
She's talking to you.
When I was under the Fang, there used to be talk about some kind of vampire final solution. So we kill a few hundred of them a year, big deal. There are thousands of them out there, maybe tens of thousands.
For the last year, I've been working with synthesized DNA in order to create an artificial virus targeted specifically at vampires. Dracula is the progenitor of the vampire race. His DNA is still pure.
Can we just go right ahead and sign you up for one of our secret Nightstalker decoder rings?
We have a wide assortment of ass-kickery for your viewing pleasure today.
Pick your poison, sundogs, steaks, heat-seeking mini rockets. Basically whatever gets you hard.
This bad boy's half as hot as the sun and can cut through vampires like a knife through butter.
Have you ever been laid?
Many times. With ladies.
Summerfield explains further that Drake won't have a typical skeletal structure. His body will be more evolved, possibly with thousands of additional bone reinforcements. So, he can be a shapeshifter like in movies or comics. The next day, the team sets out on their mission. Blade suggests that they should go after familiars. These familiars handle all the surface work for the vampires. Eventually, the real location will be revealed. They start interrogating multiple familiars. During this, a familiar gets a phone call, and it's the same psychiatrist. Blade answers, and after knowing his location, they reach at his office and kill the guards before entering the doctor's office. Blade questions him, but something feels wrong. As they approach, they find the real doctor already dead. So the doctor in front of them is Drake.
Sit.
Abby, it's Drake!
Shoot him! Go ahead, Blade.
Careful, Daywalker. I've been told about you.
How were you able to survive in sunlight?
I was the first of the vampires. They believed through me they could become Daywalkers.
Each one of them have tasted the end of my sword.
Blade and Abigail visit Hannibal King, who is still recovering. Hannibal King asks Blade if he ever thought about what comes after killing all vampires. Blade gives no answer and leaves. He injects himself with serum again. Zoe asks why he does it. Blade says it keeps the darkness inside him quiet. She asks why he doesn't talk nicely to people. Blade replies, because the world isn't nice. They later discover vampires have ties to a biomedical company. They've been buying bone marrow, supplements. The team storms the facility. There, they confront a female vampire guard. Abigail kills her with a bullet that turns her to ash. They press the police chief, also present there for answers. Inside, they find hundreds of humans stored like cattle in pods. The chief explains, this is a blood farming facility. Vampires realized hunting humans would eventually wipe them out. So instead, they harvest them under optimal conditions. One human can generate 50 pints of blood. Abigail is horrified. Blade, filled with rage, demands to know if this is the future the chief wants. The chief says they had no choice. Vampires already won, and now, with Drake back, there's no hope left.
Go. You got 20 seconds. Let's go.
Oh, you can wear it. Miss it.
Summerfield tells Zoe to hide like they planned. She grabs her weapon and searches the house, but Drake is too fast. He kills Summerfield, then finds and captures Zoe. Blade and Abigail return to their hideout, but something feels wrong. Inside, Hannibal King is nowhere to be found and the rest of the team is dead. The place is cold and empty, filled with silence and loss.
Jesus Christ! We've been porting the vampire gene into other species. Vampire Pomeranian? Ow! Destroyed! And I just farted. Silent but deadly.
She says he fears turning back into a vampire more than anything. Danica threatens to bite him and lock him up until he loses control. Then, she'll send Zoe to him. Just then, Zoe is brought in. Danica asks how it feels to watch her die. Blade and Abigail prepare for their final mission. Abigail sharpens her aim. They receive a video message from Summerfield. She says if they're watching this, she's gone. Her last request that someone must protect her daughter. She reveals she created a working Daystar virus. If merged with Dracula's blood, it could kill all vampires, but Blade's body might resist it. There wasn't time to fully test it. After the video, Abigail selects her final playlist. The driver reminds them that this is their last shot.
Gonna be sorry you did that. See, when one of us goes missing, the others, they just dial up the satellite. Instant cavalry. You see that tickle that you're feeling in the back of your throat right now? It's being pumped through the building's air conditioning system. Now! This is awkward. No help here.
You all right?
Oh, there's a pretty smile.
You seen my dog? Have you tried the lobby?
Meanwhile, Blade faces Drake. Both wield swords, experts in combat. At first, Drake dominates the fight. Their intense duel is interrupted when Aster shots fires at Blade from above. Abigail arrives and shoots Aster down with an arrow.
Are you ready to die?
I don't need to survive. The future of our race rests with you. Sooner or later, the thirst always wins.
Soon, police arrive, sensing something terrible happened. They take Blade's body for autopsy. As the procedure starts, the body suddenly transforms into Drake's. This was Drake's final gift to Blade.
The virus didn't kill him. His heart never stopped beating, waiting for the moment when he could walk the earth again.
I hope you guys enjoyed the recap, and be sure to check out other awesome recaps on the channel. And as always, thank you very much for watching.